Master Your Mind presents 7 Ways Intelligent People Deal with Difficult and Toxic People. Have you ever felt drained after interacting with certain individuals? Do you find yourself dreading encounters with negative or manipulative people? You're not alone. Dealing with difficult and toxic people is a common challenge, but it doesn't have to control your life. In this video, we'll explore 7 effective strategies that intelligent people use to navigate these challenging relationships. By implementing these techniques, you can protect your well-being, maintain your composure, and even potentially improve these relationships. Let's dive in and empower ourselves to handle difficult people with grace and intelligence. Setting clear boundaries is crucial when interacting with difficult or toxic individuals. Boundaries act as invisible lines that define what you're willing to tolerate and what you won't. When you establish firm boundaries, you're essentially communicating your limits and expectations to the other person. This can involve setting limits on their behavior, such as interrupting, being disrespectful, or making unreasonable demands. For example, you might say something like, "I understand you're upset, but I'm not comfortable with you speaking to me in that tone." By clearly stating your boundaries, you're taking control of the situation and protecting your emotional well-being. Remember, setting boundaries is not about being rude or confrontational, it's about asserting your needs and creating a healthy space for yourself within the relationship. When you consistently enforce your boundaries, you send a powerful message that you value yourself and your well-being. This can sometimes lead to the other person modifying their behavior to align with your expectations. However, it's important to be prepared for resistance. Some individuals may not react well to boundaries, especially if they're used to getting their way. In such cases, it's essential to stand your ground and remain firm in your resolve. Remember, your well-being is paramount, and you have the right to protect yourself from toxic behavior. By setting clear boundaries, you're taking a proactive step towards creating healthier and more fulfilling relationships. One of the most effective ways to deal with difficult people is to maintain your composure, even in the face of provocation. When you react emotionally, you're giving away your power and allowing the other person to control the situation. Toxic individuals often thrive on drama and conflict. By remaining calm, you disrupt their game plan and maintain control over your emotions. Take a deep breath and pause before responding. Remember, you don't have to engage in every argument. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. Maintaining composure shows emotional intelligence and commands respect. Staying calm allows you to think more clearly and rationally. Practice deep breathing, meditation, or mindfulness to manage stress. It's about choosing how and when to express your emotions in a way that empowers you. Sometimes the best way to deal with difficult people is to minimize your contact with them. Be strategic about when and how you interact with them. Limit interactions to settings where you control the environment and duration. Suggest a quick lunch or a phone call instead of meeting for coffee. Keep conversations brief and focused on neutral topics. Avoid getting drawn into drama or lengthy debates. If baited into an argument, politely excuse yourself. You might say, "I'm sorry, but I'm not feeling up to discussing this right now." Remember, you're not obligated to explain yourself. Your well-being is paramount, and you have the right to protect yourself. Limiting interactions helps if the person is constantly negative or draining. Reduce exposure to toxicity to create space for positive relationships. This strategy may not always be feasible, especially with family or coworkers. Set firm boundaries and limit interactions as much as possible. Communicate with difficult colleagues primarily through email or phone calls. Chapter 4. Seek support. Dealing with difficult and toxic people can be, emotionally draining. It's essential to have a support system in place to provide you with encouragement, perspective, and a listening ear. Talk to trusted friends, family members, or a therapist about what you're going through. Sharing your experiences with others can help you process your emotions, gain valuable insights, and feel less alone in your struggles. Sometimes, simply venting your frustrations to someone who understands can make a world of difference. Other times, you may need more concrete advice or support in setting boundaries or navigating a particularly challenging situation. Don't be afraid to reach out for professional help if you're struggling to cope with the emotional toll of dealing with a toxic individual. A therapist can provide you with tools and strategies to manage stress, set healthy boundaries, and protect your well-being. Remember, seeking support is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength and self-awareness. It shows that you're committed to taking care of yourself and that you're not afraid to ask for help when you need it. Your support system can act as a buffer against the negativity of toxic individuals. By surrounding yourself with positive and supportive people, you're strengthening your own resilience and ability to cope with challenging relationships. Chapter 5. Focus on solutions. When dealing with difficult people, it's easy to get caught up in the cycle of blame, resentment, and negativity. However, dwelling on the problem rarely leads to a positive outcome. Instead, try to shift your focus towards finding solutions. Instead of complaining about the other person's behavior, ask yourself what you can do to improve the situation. Can you set clearer boundaries? Can you communicate your needs more effectively? Can you find ways to minimize your interactions with them? Sometimes the solution may involve accepting that you can't change the other person and that the best course of action is to distance yourself from them. Other times, it may involve finding ways to work together more constructively. If the other person is open to it, try having an honest and open conversation about the issues at hand. Focus on expressing your needs and feelings in a calm and assertive manner rather than blaming or attacking them. Remember, you can't control the other person's behavior, but you can control your own reactions and responses. By focusing on solutions, you're empowering yourself to take charge of the situation and create a more positive outcome. Even if you can't completely resolve the issue, by adopting a solution-oriented mindset, you're shifting your energy towards something more productive and empowering. Chapter 6. Practice empathy. While it's important to set boundaries and protect yourself from toxic behavior, practicing empathy can sometimes help diffuse tense situations and improve your interactions with difficult people. Empathy doesn't mean condoning or excusing their behavior. It simply means trying to understand their perspective, even if you don't agree with it. Everyone is fighting their own battles, and sometimes difficult behavior is a reflection of underlying pain, insecurity, or unresolved issues. When you approach the situation with empathy, you're less likely to take their behavior personally and more likely to respond with compassion and understanding. This doesn't mean you have to tolerate their behavior or allow yourself to be treated poorly. It simply means approaching the situation with a more open mind and a willingness to see things from their point of view. Sometimes, simply acknowledging the other person's feelings can go a long way in de-escalating a conflict. For example, you might say something like, "I understand that you're feeling frustrated right now." By practicing empathy, you're not excusing their behavior, but you're creating a space for understanding and potentially even resolution. Chapter 7. Know when to walk away. Sometimes, despite your best efforts, dealing with a toxic person can be detrimental to your well-being. In such cases, it's essential to recognize when it's time to walk away from the relationship, either temporarily or permanently. If the other person is consistently disrespectful, manipulative, or abusive, it's important to prioritize your own safety and well-being. You deserve to be treated with respect and dignity, and you're not obligated to endure toxic behavior. Walking away from a toxic relationship can be incredibly difficult, especially if the person is someone you care about. However, it's important to remember that you can't force someone to change, and staying in a toxic environment will only continue to harm you. If you've tried everything else and the relationship is still causing you pain, it may be time to create some distance. This could involve setting firm boundaries, limiting contact, or even ending the relationship entirely. Remember, walking away from a toxic relationship is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of strength and self-respect. It shows that you value yourself and your well-being enough to remove yourself from a harmful situation. It's important to prioritize your own mental and emotional health. If a relationship is consistently causing you stress, anxiety, or unhappiness, it may be time to reevaluate its place in your life. Conclusion. Dealing with difficult and toxic people is an inevitable part of life. However, by implementing these 7 strategies, You can navigate these challenging relationships with grace, intelligence, and minimal impact on your well-being. Remember to set clear boundaries. Stay calm and composed, limit interactions when necessary, seek support from trusted sources, focus on solutions rather than dwelling on problems, practice empathy when possible, and know when to walk away from a toxic situation. You deserve to live a life free from unnecessary negativity and drama. By empowering yourself with these tools, you can create healthier and more fulfilling relationships with everyone in your life.